We are headed to one of the most picturesque treasures of Romania, the Painted Churches of Bukovina. Now, the challenge that we have is that we need to drive through a birthday party in Cluj-Napoca, and then we need to pass through Christmas in Sighetu Marmației. And then we see the churches, and maybe take a New Year's Eve break in Iași, and then go back and see some more churches. So you're gonna get a little mix of that in here too. Enjoy. Look at this town, Faggot. How do you say this town's name?
Faggot.
Faggot. There's a good spot to park your plane. All right, and now we're coming up to Magina. How do you say this?
Margina.
Here's Margina's abandoned vinegar factory, built by the Germans, 1912, at the request of Budapest. You're gonna burn yourself. Day 17 of Christmas rage. Christmas rage. This is day 18 of Christmas rage. Christmas rage.
Christmas rage.
How do you say that? Kurtoshkolac?
Kurtoshkolak.
Kurtoshkolak, famous Romanian dessert. It's not Hungarian. Don't tell the Hungarians that. Hungarians have no clue. It was invented here in Romania. This is St. Michael's in Cluj. They started building this church in 1316. So that's a Roman Catholic church, and we're in Romania, and they were speaking Hungarian because there aren't many Romanian Catholics. Day 20 of Christmas rage here at the Christmas tree market. Christmas rage! Birthday in Cluj, check. Now we gotta pass through Christmas in Sighet, and we'll get to those painted churches you've been so patiently waiting for. That only took 4 hours. Welcome to Sighet. Home?
Yay!
Day 23 of Christmas rage. Christmas rage. Last time I was in Sighet for Christmas was 3 years ago. That went by fast. Last year was Serbia. The year before was Turkey. Now, they kill a pig every year for Christmas here. The family kills a pig. I made it for the pig killing once. I'll put a link to that in the description if you'd like to see Christmas pig slaughter. But we missed it this year by a few days. Heading now to the smokehouse where the homemade sausages are getting smoked. For the sausage. Yeah. The Romanian ladies of the kitchen. What is going on? Anka, what is this?
A pie with
Pie.
cheese.
The cheese.
Sarmale.
Sarmale.
Yeah.
Beef salad.
Beef salad.
Yeah.
Where?
This is the potatoes. We have the veggies there.
Are we doing this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at how perfect this.
Am lăsat prea mult în beci
No one knows.
și s-a uscat.
Bum, 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 bum. It's coconut time. Is that the walnut mix?
Look, history.
Vologa Kozanak braid. Takes two. Look at this action. Look at this. Kozanak from Anka. See the cross section of this famous Vologa Kozanak.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So who has four?
You are.
Okay. I have four. He has one. There's a term that you use in backgammon. I invented it and it's really catching on. It's called monkey rolling. Monkey rolling means that if the opponent, like Vanu for example, was either Vanu or a monkey, but he got the dice that he's getting, he would win. It doesn't matter if I'm playing at that point a monkey or a human, Vanu, doesn't matter. I would lose and he would win. It's called a monkey roller.
No. No.
Day 24, Christmas rage. Christmas rage!
Christmas rage.
Homemade cheese pie, homemade apple pie. This is what 12 noon Christmas Eve in northern Romania looks like. 12 noon. Bianca, you did this. Yeah. Wow. Sarmale. And here's what 3:30 in the afternoon Christmas Eve looks like. That mist right there in the background, that's over the river Tisa, the border between Romania and Ukraine. We're just sitting around here waiting for the famous Sighetu Christmas Eve Christmas carolers. Are they coming?
Hopefully.
Christmas Eve dinner.
Nu fi prea foame.
Aici ai...
Sănătate.
Cheers!
Crăciun fericit!
fericit!
E,
Mamma mia, cât de
Câte cărți?
De la Ed.
Mai am o cămașă.
Două blute, uite. Schimb și nu dă-ți, iarăși ăsta ne-am mulțumit.
This is Christmas rage.
What's up, bro?
Nice. What is that?
The carrot one! De morcov, rachia de morcov.
Because you like carrots, right? You like
I love
carrots?
carrots.
This is carrot rakia from Serbia. And it's disgusting. Don't get this. In Iași, do you open up your presents a day early also?
Yes.
You open them up at night, Christmas
Yes,
Eve?
yes, of course.
Okay, so it's a Romanian thing, I think.
Yeah.
The wrong Christmas, the wrong day.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
The carolers sound drunk, they're always drunk.
Bosio verde pe masă, bosio verde pe masă.
Merry Christmas, chicken. Come on in, chicken. It's the Vanu Christmas steak. Okay, so we're trying this disgusting rakia drink one more time. This is a new person. He hasn't tasted it yet, so let's see. Maybe it's really good. Maybe it's good.
We'll see. Cheers.
No good? Still disgusting?
The finish, after a time, it's...
That's what she says.
Yeah.
Someone else trying the carrot rakia.
Smells good.
Let's see how Andrea fares.
Okay.
Let the aftertaste kind of hit you. Yeah, oh, there it is. There it is.
Aici e mai răcorit.
Papanaș.
E bine?
Da, mie.
Bun.
Aperol spritz for Lauren's birthday.
Bine, hai.
He was born on Christmas Day. Christmas, so help me God, Christmas Day.
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking about you. What about
No,
you?
man, I want to make a picture.
Christmas Day, I'm going to win whist for the first time. Some say it's a once in a lifetime event. I say I'm just getting started. Merry Christmas. Day 27 of Christmas Rage. Christmas Rage!
Christmas rage.
This is Sighetu Marmației's 54th annual Winter Customs Festival, Winter Traditions Festival, Winter Folk Festival. That's the best picture. You've been very patient, and today's the day. We're going to make good on our promise to see some UNESCO-listed Painted Churches of Bukovina. We're driving 4.5 hours now to a town called Rădăuți?
Yeah.
It's in Bukovina. Bukovina is a little slice of northern Moldavia. Moldavia is a region that now, well, Moldova has the eastern part, Ukraine has the northern part, Romania has the western half. But the Habsburg Empire, the Austrians, took a northern slice in 1775 and named it Bukovina. So UNESCO lists these churches as the painted monasteries of Moldavia. But I like saying the Painted Churches of Bukovina. I just like the sound of Bukovina better. But when these churches were built, it was in the region of Moldavia. Never going to talk about that again, but now you know. I just stopped the car to point out that we have just entered Bukovina.
That's what makes noise.
They call this region, this historical region of Bukovina, the Switzerland of the East. It's very mountainous. Another quick pit stop to look at this communist-era monument to Ciprian Porumbescu. He's a Romanian composer. He was born in Ukraine and died in this town here in Romania, a town now called Ciprian Porumbescu. And I don't know any of his songs, but Romanians probably do. We just entered Rădăuți, home of our first UNESCO-listed Painted Church of Bukovina. Nope, locked. So while I'm behind this locked gate, waiting for someone hopefully to show up and let us in, I'll tell you a little bit about the church. What little I know, so I'm not talking while they're here. The church was built in 1489, and it is the oldest surviving church built by Stephen the Great, Stefan cel Mare in Romanian, that still stands today in its original form. He built other churches, but over time, they fell into disrepair and had to be rebuilt. This church is also the smallest church that Stephen the Great built. It was originally designed as a nunnery and also served as kind of a hospital. It was strategically placed about 10 kilometers away from the Suceava fortress. Only one wall is painted, the west wall that you see here. It was discovered in the 1980s under plaster, and it is the oldest exterior painting on any church in Moldavia. It dates from the 1400s. You can see here the Last Judgment depicting the struggle between the angels and demons. It's tilted a little more to the heaven side, but the demons are trying to tip it to hell. So a nun showed up and she's letting us inside the church. Check out this stone table here, also built in the 1400s. It was inspiration for Constantine Brâncuș, his work called Table of Silence. He was a Romanian sculptor, a very famous one, world famous. You probably know of him. I'll shoot another video all about Constantine Brâncuș probably in a few months, so stay tuned. So this is Slavonic, and it says, I, Stefan Jalmar, son of blah, 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 started building this church on June 13th, 1487.
Iar pragul este pragul original de pe vremea lui Ștefan. This is, look.
The predominant color in this church is golden ochre, called here Rădăuți yellow. So this is the cavalcade of the Holy Cross. It's considered the most important painting in this church because the scene is not found in religious paintings of other Orthodox countries. And in Moldavia, it appears only at the Arborea Church. Another one we'll visit in the next few days. And this scene alludes to the anti-Ottoman battles of that period. Now, Stephen the Great, by the way, was a prince of Moldavia, and he battled the Turks a few times. Pope Sixtus IV called him Atleta Christi, a champion of Christ. Anyway, here you see 16 military saints on horses accompanying Constantine the Great. And there's Michael the Archangel showing a cross that's appeared in the sky. The scene is an invocation of the heavenly army called by Stephen the Great in support of his earthly armies that were fighting the Turks to preserve the Christian identity. This one of the resurrection is one of the oldest frescoes in Romania. If you wanted to know what Stephen the Great looked like, you can see him here, handing a church to Constantine the Great, who's handing it to Jesus. And he's with his son, he's with his wife. He's got two little girls here who really wanted to meet Jesus, I think. And this is another well-known painting at this church. And in this one, the crucifixion, you see Jesus is stepping up to the cross. It symbolizes his sacrifice was willing. And this is the original stone altar here. Well, that's one down. That's the only UNESCO-listed painted church we're going to see today in Bukovina. But we are driving to Dragomirna Monastery right now. It's not UNESCO-listed. It's not one of the painted churches, but it looks pretty cool. It's about 15 minutes away. So Dragomirna Monastery is a fortified monastery complex. Now, there's a church inside built in the 1500s, but as a result of the troubled times, I think it was the Turks, this massive and high wall was built in 1627. The church you're about to see behind these walls is said to be the tallest, narrowest church in the world by far as width to height is concerned. It's less than 10 meters wide and it's over 42 meters high. Pretty tall, pretty skinny. So the inside of this tall, narrow church is painted all over the place. You're not going to really see it on the cell phone, but I'll take a few pictures just for you. Look at the inside of the dome here. And there you have it. Driving a half hour now to Suceava. Suceava. Throughout the entire Austrian-ruled Bukovina period, Suceava was called Mini Austria. It was an ethnic majority of Germans until the early 1900s. Night 28 of Christmas Rage. Christmas Rage!
Christmas Rage.
8 of the UNESCO-listed Painted Churches of Bukovina are on the House of Culture here. It's almost like we don't have to do anymore. Smoked ribs. This is ciorbă de burtă for breakfast, cow belly soup. Everyone has new windows, except this guy. So today we're going to drive to Probota Monastery. It was built by Stephen the Great's illegitimate son. It's UNESCO, painted. This is funny. This area is a monument to the first highway in Moldavia. So this country of very little highways, almost no highways, Romania, this is your country. So what am I looking at here?
This is a meter of highway built in protest of the lacking in infrastructure in Moldova. There's no highway in Moldova at all, so this is the only meter.
When she says Moldova, don't get confused, it's not the country, it's the region of Moldavia. In Romania, they say Moldova for the region. And it's not just Moldavia that has no highways. Well, maybe it is Moldavia that has no highways, but I could tell you, having driven around Romania now for about 10 years, it is the worst country to drive around. The highways absolutely suck here. Almost no highways at all. Yesterday we drove something like 160 miles, 170 miles. It took 5 hours. And here's the guy who built this mini highway to shame Romania. He owns a fast food chain restaurant, like Greek food. The guy put up everything you need on a highway. Ooh, we got street lamps, we got a fence, we got guardrails. I think the belief is that the lack of highways directly corresponds to accidents. So you have a lot of beat up cars around here, littering this first highway of Moldavia. Moldavia and its sub-region, let's call it, of Bukovina is the poorest region of Romania, but I think they have the cutest houses. I don't know if you remember, but I was driving around the Republic of Moldova, the country, earlier this year, and I went into a town called Soroca to see a fortress there. And that fortress was built by Stephen the Great's illegitimate son, Petru Rareș, who also built this monastery here. So I guess he's got a style. Looks very similar. So this church was built by Petru in 1530 as a royal necropolis, and Petru himself was buried here in 1546. It was 1550 that Petru's wife, Serbian princess Jelena Branković, built the surrounding walls. So maybe it wasn't his style, the Soroca fortress. Maybe it's Jelena's, Lady Elena's style. So Petru initiated the ideas of painting the exterior walls of the monasteries in northern Moldavia, later known as Bukovina. This monastery was painted on the outside in 1532, but since it was one of the earliest attempts, the painters hadn't yet developed full knowledge of how to protect the art from nature, so the paintings are mostly erased. This is kind of funny. This is a votive painting, Petru Rareș handing the church to Jesus through Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, who's the patron saint of this church. And you'll see that one of his sons, Iași, is painted black. They blackened his face after he converted to Islam. And in this room, we have the tombs of Petru Rareș's wife, the Serbian princess, Jelena Branković, and the tomb of Petru himself. Yeah, I'd say this is the most impressive painted church we've been to so far. Here's a scene of the slaughter of every firstborn, the attempt of King Herod to kill Jesus. My default favorite fresco in any church that has a scene of the Last Judgment is the scene of the Last Judgment. Look at this one here. You got a dragon, snake, fish, demon vomiting out flames, in which there's another dragon, snake, demon being ridden by, I guess, a devil. And here's an angel slaughtering a devil. Up, more angels up there, piercing a devil. And that's great. Oh, these two naked people in a box above a bear, the top of which is a pink bird. That's wild stuff. I don't know about you, Bianca, but as my mother famously said after 2 days in Italy, I'm a little churched out.
I am too.
I'm thinking maybe we take a 4 or 5 day celebration in Iași. Yeah, capital of Moldavia. Didn't drive more than 2 minutes. Look at this old communist Ferris wheel. Complete with chickens. The wooden seats. Yeah, I'd love to see it in operation. Goodbye, Bukovina, for a few days. Just entered Iași County, which is now in the historical region of Moldavia. Nice Ceausescu-era block housing. I was just pulled over by a very polite young man, Romania PD, and he asked for my driving license and registration and insurance. I gave him my driving license. He asked for my international driving permit, and I handed him my forgery of a fake one that I bought last year, and he knew immediately. It was shit. He said, "This is garbage. There's nothing. Do you have insurance?" And I gave him my my photoshopped insurance, but with an expired date because I was too lazy to create a new date. And he said, "This is expired." He goes, "I'm gonna let you go because it's New Year's and you're a tourist. On your merry way." I love the Romanian PD. Love them. Sign me up. Repeat customer. Repeat customer? Haha. Home for the night. Old school communist elevator. Come in. It's not gonna move. It's not gonna move until these are closed. Now take off your backpack. Oh, I see what you've done. There we go. Okay.
8.
Oh, look at this modern buttons here, though.
8.
That's pretty modern. It's renovated. Pork neck, pork muscle, and pork belly. Fresh from this morning. This is traditionally a marijuana dessert, wild marijuana that grows around Moldavia, and walnuts. It's called julfe. You can do this. You can do this, Vanu. We've rehearsed this. This is take 3. So this is the pre-prep. This is the pre-prep. What does pre-prep mean, Vanu?
Is the pre for the prep New Year's Eve.
Yes.
That's what happened tomorrow.
We're preparing for the preparation
Of
New Year's Eve.
Exactly.
Okay. Tomorrow is not New Year's Eve. Right.
No,
This is
it's
the
preparation for the New Year's Eve.
Which
for
is
the
gonna
preparation.
be hardcore tomorrow.
So we're drinking a lot, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Day 30 of Christmas rage. Christmas rage.
Christmas age.
This is my 3rd time in Iași, the 4th largest city in Romania, considered the capital of culture of Romania, the city of 7 hills, the city of 100 churches. And I'm not gonna shoot much video while here, so enjoy anything that follows as a teaser for a future production. Rădăuți church. More Christmas rage. Christmas rage.
Ce faci baloane? Uite ce faci mie.
Niște oameni de zăpadă.
Jos în gaz, îmblesc la el, s-a născut Emanuel.
These guys are all waiting in line to see Saint Paraschiva, patron saint of Iași. She's in there. It's free. Here's a view of Iași from our living room, and look at the power plant there. I guess that could be a target if the Russians come. So the tradition here on New Year's Eve, the local children knock on every door in Iași, and they demonstrate some half-assed effort at a holiday song, and they earn some easy money, easy lay. Very talented. I don't know, is that worth 1 lei, 5 lei, 10 lei? What do you think?
None lei.
None lei.
Bușorul se pornește și începe a ura pe la casa colinda. Iar n-ai grea o mătui mare.
You're a clown. Clown. Clown.
Se pornește și începe a ura pe la casa colinda. Iar n-ai grea o mătui.
The sun sets on eastern Romania's final day of 2022.
I love this elevator. Oh. That's how he keeps it going.
S-a trezit bădica mare, Traian.
Is that the song? O să risidiu.
Începe a ura la casa Colenda.
Semnii buni din Belșug!
V-ați luat carnea.
Carne.
Am văzut.
Mulți ani sănătate.
Iar ne ridicăm. Băi, dar nu se putea de jos.
Mulți ani.
Hai, gata,
Vezi că te filmează și nu ești îmbrăcată, Leana.
Ăia nu nimeni pe acolo la poliție. Cine de acolo?
In Romania, you eat 12 grapes. You ate them all at the same time?
Yes.
12 grapes for New Year's. Who's gonna light my first cigarette of 2023? My first cigarette of 2023.
Who do you want to light your cigarette?
Who else? Could it be my twin? It's 2:30 in the morning, and the girls are preparing salmon. Oh, that looks nice. How many more meals after this?
one more meal after this.
What, pizza maybe?
Pizza. Romanian traditional food.
We've had about 20 of these. We've had about 20 of these. And it's we're halfway there?
Yes, halfway there.
Un, doi, trei și...
Yes, you felt that. You felt that.
Tu poți să te lași.
Dar poți să te duci să iei pâine, domnule.
24 de ore, nu? Puteai loc.
Is it tradition to have a pig on New Year's?
Yes, it's tradition.
And do you always name the pig Catalin?
No. This is special.
Bănuții!
Aici mai trebuie scaun.
Aduc eu acum. Am dus-o de aici acasă.
Dar nu ar trebui să luăm. E foarte suculent.
Ia Bianca.
Altă masă irosită, Bianca.
Ani cu sănătate, să vă dea Domnul tot ce doriți, zile senine și fericire.
After such a refreshing and relaxing break in Iași, I'm ready to drive back to Bukovina for some more churches. And I'm happy to report that we've successfully evaded the cop that stopped us on the way in, thanks to Bianca's driving, because she actually has a license. She's legally allowed to drive here. Anyway, he didn't show up, so it's for nothing. And now we're leaving Iași County and entering Suceava County, which is in Bukovina Region, just like the sign says. It's 19 degrees outside and it's January 2nd. Can you believe that? Like 65, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. This is Arbore Church. It was completed in 1502 by Luca Arbore, one of Stephen the Great's soldiers and an important advisor to Stephen the Great's son, Bogdan the Blind. Now, Stephen the Great never saw the paintings of his monastery finished because he was beheaded along with two of his sons, having been falsely accused of treachery. These interior paintings were completed in 1504, but damaged in 1538 during Solimon the Magnificent's campaign against Stephen the Great's illegitimate son, Petru Rareș. These paintings were partially restored in 1541. So there's St. George killing the dragon, and following along to the right, he's dragging the dragon. This is the Feast of St. George. And this is the Siege of Constantinople behind me, a little faded. It doesn't refer to the Turkish siege of Constantinople, but the Persian one in 626. So Luca Arbore and his two sons, his wife, are buried here. The church is dedicated to the beheading of John the Baptist, and Luca was beheaded. This entire panel by his tomb is the story of the beheading of John the Baptist. In Luca's tomb area here, you can see Luca holding a church and presenting it to Jesus, and he's with two of his sons and his wife. And now you know what Luca Arbore looks like. And this is Saint Marina smashing the devil's head with her hammer. And this is the hand of God. He's holding souls. They look like babies. Baby souls, the only pure ones. Remember Rădăuți yellow? That was the predominant color of Rădăuți. Here in Arbore, the predominant color is green, and they call it Arbore green. Green, as it was painted some 500 years ago. In fact, there are 47 different shades of green at this monastery, and you can see a lot of them in this angel here. This one's pretty worn out, but it's considered important because it doesn't really exist in Byzantine paintings. It's St. Christopher holding baby Jesus on his shoulder. And these panels tell the story of the prodigal son, worn out at the top, thanks to some birds, I guess. There's probably no roof here, probably. There was no roof protecting it. That's probably what happened. And here's the Last Judgment, usually my favorite, but again, this one's pretty worn out as well. But let's look at some of the details of it. Here you have Turks being given a chance to enter heaven if they convert to Christianity, or they can drop right below to hell. See their hats? Turkish hats? That girl is naked up there because you come in naked, you go out naked. And above her is a scale that again tips toward heaven. And there again is the hand of God holding souls. This is pretty neat. Look at this. These are the old mixing bowls that the painters were using to get the colors just right. Here's another one. And this is the cavalcade of the Holy Cross, Emperor Constantine riding the horse. And this scene doesn't exist anywhere other than the two monasteries, Rădăuți and Arbore. And over here, they're digging for the three crosses of Golgotha. Here's Nikita the Roman, a saint, and it looks like he's been strapped to a wheel and is, I guess, rolling to his death. No, he didn't die. You see the hand of God up there? God stopped up, and they're trying to kill him here as well. He's hanging upside down over fire, but again, you see the hand of God there in the corner? Didn't die. Nikita the Roman, holding on. He's cheating a little bit. So that's the church for today. And now I'm going to show you Romanian Clit. So here it is, Romanian Clit, as promised. Of course, I've seen Romanian Clit before. I was here a few years ago. I made a video about it, and a lot of you told me there were some inaccuracies. So I'm back, hopefully this time to do it right. So Clit got its name after Ukrainian refugees from Galicia settled here a long time ago. These Ukrainians built their houses a certain way, had to do something with a stick, like the word Clit and stick were related. They called their houses Cliti, and the town became known as Clit. There are at least 3 Clits in Romania. There may be more. This is the only one that I come back to. This is Clit Church. It says here, Clit Parish. Okay, so we'll just drive around Clit a bit more and show you the houses here. I think I read it was a Roma ethnic majority village now. Goodbye, Romanian Clit. So we have about a 15-minute drive now to Rădăuți, where we're going to spend the night. So this city of Rădăuți has the oldest still standing stone religious building of any kind in all of Moldavia. And it was built by Bohdan I. We're just going to do a quick drive-by of it in honor of Bianca. Bianca's from Maramureș, and Bohdan I is also from Maramureș. He's Mureșan, and he was the first independent ruler of Moldavia. The Turks called him Bohdan the Black. Rădăuți has a synagogue. It's closed, but I wanted to show it to you real quick. In 1941, some 91,000 Jews were deported from Bukovina, sent to Transnistria. Say it.
Ciorbă rădăuțeană.
Yeah. This is where it all started. It's like a chicken soup. And this chicken soup is named after the city of Rădăuți. It's one of my favorite chicken soups. Anka makes it. I love it. Here's how you spell it. And a woman that was working at this restaurant invented the soup in 1982. It's chicken breast, garlic, vinegar, some sour cream if you add it, hot pepper. So in 1982, when they invented this, during the Ceausescu era, certain foods were scarcer, and cow belly was hard to come by. And the husband of this lady liked cow belly soup, but didn't have cow belly, so she invented this chicken soup that allegedly has a taste of cow belly. Today's the day. After talking about him for so long, we're going to visit the man himself, Stephen the Great. Have you visited Stephen the Great before?
No.
All right, first time for her as well, heading to Putna, where he's buried. We are right on the edge of Ukraine here, and it was after Stephen the Great conquered the fort in Kilia, which is now in Ukraine. We've been there, Ismail area. He built this monastery to give thanks to God on July 10th, 1466. This is Putna's House of Culture, and I stopped because I noticed this communist-esque mosaic. So after Stefan cel Mare beat the Ottomans up in Kilia, rumor is he climbed this hill here, shot his arrow from his bow, and where the arrow landed, he built this monastery that he was later buried in. The final judgment restored. Here it is, the tomb of Stefan cel Mare, as promised. And here's the votive painting of Stefan cel Mare handing the church to Jesus via the Virgin Mary. A brief pause to recognize Saint Tryphone. My grandfather is named Tryphone. He came from Montrone. Tryphone is the patron saint of Montrone. It's also my confirmation name. This monastery is one of the most important religious, cultural, and artistic centers established in medieval Moldavia. They have a museum here. Costs 10 lei. I don't think we'll go in. Here's a bell that was given to Monastery Putna by Stephen the Great in 1484. We're heading now to Sucevița Monastery. Did I say that right? Sucevița. There are 22 painted churches of Bukovina total. 22. 8 of them are UNESCO-listed, but there's 22 of them total. Sucevița Monastery is the very last of them, and it is also UNESCO-listed. So this will be the 4th UNESCO-listed painted church of Bukovina to show you. I think there's about 50 nuns that still live in this monastery, so we're going to have to abide by nun rules. No pictures, no videos. Now this monastery is a major tourist attraction for Romania, so feels like a zoo. This church has the largest number of painted images out of all 22, the Painted Churches of Bukovina. So I'll show you a few famous frescoes of this monastery and then continue on. Behind me is the stairway to heaven. Yeah, the ladder to paradise. There's red-winged angels in orderly rows attending the righteous on a ladder to heaven. Each rung is inscribed with one of the monastic virtues, and you see the sinners falling through the rungs, driven by grinning devils to hell. I don't know, this is like the porch of dragons. Dragons everywhere. Look at these dragons. Ah, these look like Turks. Constantinople, perhaps? And just as you enter, final judgment. Again, can never get enough. Look closely into the flames coming out of the dragon's mouth. I think you see Turks. Are those Turks? The nuns don't want you to take pictures or videos inside, so here's a few more illegal pictures for you. Yeah, I can't. I was just telling Bianca, I can't do this anymore.
No, it's
We're done?
cold. Yeah.
It's cold, and this church didn't want us to take pictures, and we still have 4 more UNESCO churches to go. You know, lucky for you, I've already done all of them, you know, over the past 10 years. So I'm going to put up some pictures of the 4 I haven't shown you, and consider this the end.
Bye. Peace out.
While I'm working on getting all these church pictures ready for you, look at this. The Ballad of the National Road, DN 17A, 1960-something. This is Pass of the Palm, and there's a communist monument for you. The hand. Talk to the hand. Is this thing on? Christmas Rage, night 35. Christmas Rage.
Christmas Rage.